Hello, everyone. Everybody, welcome back. And Teddy.
Brad, we can't stop snapping here again in the Masters of Arcane season. Boy, we've had a ton of stuff happen. Golden Gauntlet tournaments. We have official Marvel Snap tournaments. We have
Yep.
new game modes, revamped game modes, return of beloved game modes. Brad, are you finally collection complete again, or are you letting some of these cards slip away?
I am definitely not collection complete, as I did not mean to change the entire size of that.
We They used to hit us, man, with 4 cards a season, and we were like, "Yeah, this is actually, like, pretty fast to get a card every week." Then they were up to 5. This
Yep.
season, Brad, have you double checked? 12!
That's insane.
It's insane because some of these release straight into the dumpster, and that's fine, and some of them remain the most exclusive cards of all time. I, for the first time in ever, am not collection complete because I have not been able to snag Kid Omega. Believe it or not, Kid Omega
Yeah,
eludes me.
the super expensive one.
We're
Um,
gonna get to that later on. Out of the cards releasing this season, which ones have you grabbed slash enjoyed?
uh, what do I have so far? Honestly, I should just pull up the game and show from there. But so far, I think I've only grabbed. I don't think I've grabbed anything from the new season so far. Actually, I think I'm still
Did you go
playing with
battle
some old
pass with
stuff.
Merlin, or
I
did you let
definitely, I
everything else
definitely
sit?
got Merlin. I've been playing a lot of
Okay,
Merlin.
yeah,
And you know what the best
he's
thing
so fun.
about playing Merlin is? People have decided that the best shell to have Merlin in is with my favorite cards, Sentry, Annihilus, and our one of our favorite cards that we both share, the Hood. That's you're
Yep.
very excited about having a ultimate variant of. Uh,
Oh baby, it's so good.
I haven't had it come through my shop yet, and I can't. Even if it did, I don't think I could justify the token spend on it when I'm trying to
Oh,
get cards.
it was in the shop bundle,
Oh, it
the
was a
stained
shop
glass
bundle.
version. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't grab it.
yeah.
I didn't grab it.
Well, it's still there for you.
Hmm. I may have to get it. Because here I was thinking it was an ultimate variant. That's my mistake. Because like typically,
Yeah.
like if you look at like the Bucky one, that was an ultimate
Yep.
variant. Like I and well, the Scroll Girl was a bundle as well. Is the Bucky one the only other token making one that is a
It has a unique art for the token.
right? Is like as an ultimate variant?
Mm, it could be. That one is the Exiles, right?
Yeah, I don't really
Bucky.
remember. But yeah.
I mean, there's
Anyway,
a Pandard version of the Brood, which is just one of their variants that has unique tokens. So it's just
yep.
some of the more modern ones are getting it. I hope it's too bad that it seems like they can't go back and do the old ones, but I think we can just expect a higher quality moving forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, like in general, I said this when we first came back when I said I was playing Snap again. Um, I really like the direction of like the card design so
Yeah,
far in the new seasons and stuff. And again, and Merlin's no exception to that. Merlin's really awesome, fun to play with him. Just to kind of weave stuff in. We'll get to Surge as well, but Surge, while being a really cool design, in my opinion, might be a little bit too good. uh, but yeah,
really.
yeah. But it's been a lot of fun playing some Merlin. Have you picked up any new cards so far for the season?
Yes, I have everything besides Cobra and Kid Omega. I'm still waiting to see where the shop settles to blow any of my currency there.
Mhm.
I'll probably focus on trying to get the new card. I know I could spend the tokens to pick it up later and then pick up some of the like event exclusive cosmetics, but we'll see how much I'm able to stockpile there. I have not played with all the cards because they've hit me so fast. Merc came out of nowhere and was actually super amazing with Cannonball. Like that was an interaction that I didn't initially pick up on and was very pleasantly surprised. Merlin's been super fun. Um, and then like Ancient One, I literally only played for the weekend missions. I've never played Kale. I've never played Helion. I have
Yeah.
played Scratch. I tried Nikki Scratch, wasn't quite doing it for me. And I have tried Nightmare, but we're also going to get to Nightmare a little bit later on.
And as you see me doing stuff in the background, you can see me adding the snap thing. Hold on. I just wanted to have it there to be able to switch around.
Brad just
Uh,
wants to flex on us, which his collection.
my collection is not that great. I mean, I have things that I like this wonderful sunspot.
Yeah,
But for the
that's
most part,
one of the most exclusive variants, right?
yeah. I also just realized I didn't realize that the Discord overlay it doesn't show it in OBS, but like our camera's in the bottom left here. The game
Yeah,
was kind of cool.
lets you keep up with the call.
Yeah, that's fun. What was I gonna look at? Oh yeah, I was gonna look at the newest ones.
Newest.
So I did pick up Nicholas Scratch.
Vicky Hand.
I got Victoria through a random poll.
Nice.
I did get Prodigy a while back. I did pull Bullseye as well, but I've yet to
Hey.
play with this card because I don't have what's her name?
Scorn.
No, I have Scorn. The other one, the one that copies a previous card.
Oh, yeah.
Frigga?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have her. And I don't think you can make a super great. I mean, it'll be playable, but I feel like that's such a key component of the Bullseye deck. It's kind of weird
Yes.
to not, play her.
No, it's also a key component of the Vicky Hand deck. Like you have to have Freya for both of those.
But I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with all the new cards. I pulled Speed randomly a while back. I've yet to even put him in a deck. I've yet to even touch him. So like, there's
Simple
definitely
but
some stuff that I
effective.
could do.
You could probably go back and just, live the Thanos ongoing glory days, even though he lost a couple points.
I've had some cooks. This was one that I was messing with as far as new cards go. Name's fantastic. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. Makes me laugh every time I read it. I'm a what?
Yeah.
Scratch, Merlin, Agamotto. I threw in Scarlet Witch
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like, she's a witch. She does magic.
It's a ton of location manipulation.
Yeah, and I was also like, well, I mean, if we end up accidentally filling our hand with like the Agamotto, because like I found when I was playing with it initially, with like Merlin and Agamotto, sometimes I just don't have time to like play out all the spells, and my hand just gets stacked with spells that I'm not going to play out, or I just get bad
Yeah.
ones, like the shuffle one, for example, as my camera goes out. That's fun.
Yep. Came back.
Like the shuffle one, and sometimes you don't have
Right.
anything you want to shuffle away. So I was like,
Yeah.
Kahori's kind of sick for this, just in case. I think Fastos is just a win more kind of thing, but this was a lot of fun. I would probably cut Sam Wilson for something else, maybe some other kind of tech card or something. But this
No,
list,
like
I was
him with
having a
the
lot of fun.
spells. He's good with the shuffle, the once and forever, and he's good with polymorph. So he gives you a token you can always target, right?
Yeah, that was the initial thinking.
Yeah, I like him there. And honestly, I like Fastos better than Wiccan in a lot of these decks.
Mhm.
So he's just more consistent. I run Fastos a lot.
Oh, and it's great when you go Surge into Fastos. And you're like, yeah,
Yes.
this is fun. We're playing games.
Heavily discounted. Heavily discounted.
Yeah. So, and of course, like I have to run this amazing, beautiful Scarlet Witch
I was gonna
card.
say she's beautiful, but if you want to be more competitive, should probably be King Eitri, right?
Yes, should be literally
Yeah.
anything else, if we're being honest.
When you have the Snow Guard and the Merlin ready to bring location shenanigans, you probably don't need
it's just
Scarlet.
I've had this variant chilling in my collection for so long,
Yeah.
and I had the
Yeah.
extra red border, and I was like, I really just I wanna run it. I want to run the stupid
Exactly.
card. It looks great. It's one of the best looking variants in the game.
Yeah.
But we'll go back to this in the screen in a little bit because we'll probably want to what's it called? Do some cooking if we have time later on. Also, I should probably bring down the music a bit. Just realized, and then let's keep it going. So when it comes to the gauntlet, right? We did have 2 Infinity Gauntlet tournaments, which are really cool. Finally, some actual support for competitive scene when it comes to Marvel Snap. Now that was a interview. I was trying to find just like
The decks.
yeah. But this
Do
was
you
in
want which one? I have both ready to go.
just send me both, and then I'll pull them up, and we can take a look.
Okay.
Also, wait, do you have by any chance that do you have any of the images of the top 8 that they published? The Marvel Snap team did.
No, I do. So what I have is the Snapdot fan, or sorry, the Marvel Snap Zone page, and they have like links to them.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
cool,
see.
that works.
I can dig for the images that like Snap was posting.
But for those of you that didn't watch, it was a uh, just a conquest, big conquest tournament. And the one thing that we found through both tournaments to be pretty consistent was because it's conquest, the best decks and the winning decks were both decks that really wanted to just be random, like no
Yep.
predictability, that kind of thing.
Yes, the surprise factor ended up being a huge deal for these lists. Turns out when you're two high-skilled players, you being able to learn your opponent's deck when your deck has so much RNG that they cannot learn yours is a huge advantage. Massive advantage. So Gauntlet 1 ended up being World of Thanos. Welcome to the
Yes,
wonderful world
a lot of
of
Thanos.
Thanos mirror matches
This,
without a Thanos winner,
right.
which was incredible.
It
And
was
yep,
Bounce
the
that won it, right?
yeah, bounce came through, and it's like traditional bounce
Yeah.
back. The flexibility that he was able to bring with just like, oh, I was adding power to this location, then nope, that all reverses on the final turn. Just pulled through. But yeah, there's an insane deck that I never thought that its Emperor Hulkling would be a premier
Yes.
card
Okay.
in one of
This
the top
deck
8
was
decks.
so cool because it's right here. It's a pixie
Yeah,
deck
Pixie.
with Uncle Ben,
Hmm.
Killmonger to kill the Uncle Ben, of course, and it's just running good cards, right? Captain America, Sam Wilson, Surge, the Legion is a really good card. Copycat's a great card. Mobius is, of course, a card you have to have with Pixie. Enchantress from some counter stuff, Magneto, but yeah, the Emperor Hulkling is the crazy
It's
thing, and that's where it comes
it's
into
so
like the
silly.
unpredictability. Because like sometimes this will just randomly be a Galactus, right? Which we're
Right,
seeing
a
with a new
112
card,
Galactus or
yeah.
whatever.
Or it'll be like a Doctor Doom to go wide or whatever. And then otherwise you have just the fallback of Magneto. It's such an interesting deck, and the Killmonger with Uncle Ben I think is really cute. Nico I think is just a staple in any Pixie deck. She's just so good, especially to go like turn,
Yeah.
because sometimes you just go turn 1 Nico with the destroy, turn 2 Pixie, draw a bunch. You want to find that Mobius kind of thing. Um, it didn't win. I think it got third or fourth, right? Um, yeah,
Yes, it made the final 4, but then yeah, lost out to the finalists.
super
Went on
cool
and
deck.
had yeah, great matchups.
The rest of the top 8 is like you're saying. I mean, there's another weird move deck, move bounce, and then a clog
Hey,
deck
hey,
with
that is the Sizer special, man.
yeah, and one of your
If you
favorite
guys don't know,
cards,
Sizer
Toxin.
has finished more seasons at number 1 than any other player, and this is like his personal favorite.
Hmm.
And so I think he wanted to bring that like signature flair rather than just play the meta. And obviously he's incredible at it. It just makes points like nobody's business and then dodges initiative and then drops points at the very end. It's crazy.
Yeah, super cool deck. We'll see when we move from the first tournament to the second one. It does kind of flip on its head, I do think a
Yeah,
bit.
we got an influx of some new cards and then a balance change on Thanos that definitely shifted things. And also I think just some adaptation of like more players practicing for Golden Gauntlet and like being aware of it, more prep time kind of moved the needle a little bit on where the meta landed. And then yeah, we had so basically between these tournaments, you had the Mercury Cannonball evolution and you had Merlin added.
Yep.
Um, which definitely made a splash, though again was not the winner.
No. And then of course we have the Thanos ongoing list that you were talking, saying I should build, even though it
Yep.
took a couple of
Yeah.
hits. Um,
It's disgusting. It's still good. It's just been bypassed a little bit now by the new hotness. It was so consistent. It was really, I think, the card draw on Greenstone that
yeah,
got taken away. That was the big nerf, but like people got so sick of Thanos.
yeah. It's funny how Thanos has always kind of resulted in a pretty big change to the deck because people were so tired of it. I mean, I would rather have the current form Thanos than the original Thanos any day of the week, though.
You're saying going all the way back to like the old stone effects and stuff.
Yeah, where it was
The
just
basically
so
the energy cheat in a
yeah,
Swiss Army knife
yep,
shell that could then rush slash ramp any other best card list.
yep. People already complain
Yeah.
about like decks that just feature nothing but tech cards, but old Thanos was literally just tech card dot deck.
Yep. Yep.
This one's really
That
cool.
would do it.
The little destroy package with misery onto things like Luna Snow, your Iron Patriot, Killmonger, Lady Deathstrike for just like this is just really cute. This is a cute deck. It feels like I guess I'm insulting this person by calling it cute because they did go 7-0 day one and had a uh, really good showing. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like some of these, keep in mind when you're looking at these lists for like potentially to use in like your own climbing and ranked, you'll definitely be able to win plenty of games, of course, but like these are curated for conquest, right? You want to
Yes,
have
it's
some
that
kind of
difference.
unpredictability.
Right. We said in Conquest, you want that unpredictability, the cube steal mechanic, the thing that's hard for your opponent to learn about your deck. In Ladder, you want consistency.
Yeah.
You want to hit a floor that's very reliable every time and grind out cubes. And then in Conquest, you want to be able to pop them for a surprise swing in the mid game of a chunk of cubes and then carry through the match. Once you've learned their deck and you can snap slash retreat aggressively off like early location swings and stuff like that, you can really put your opponent in a world of hurt.
Yeah. And Mercury was a card that we saw come out recently that's been a pretty big deal for a lot of like decks for like her first like week in the game. Uh,
Yes.
Looked kind of like just okay upon release, and then it's just one of those cards that ends up being a lot better in practice than she is on paper. Um, this one I
Yeah,
really
it turns
liked
out,
because I wanted to see people play Professor X with Mercury because I was like, oh, cool, you get rid of the downside from his rework with Mercury. That's awesome.
ye- not really,
Well, they
right?
can't.
Because
Well, they can't
Mercury,
move from her location to their location though. It's just
yes,
they only have one movable lane into Professor X.
yes, exactly. But it's not like you could play her on top of Pro X or
No,
underneath, really, to prevent cards from moving there. It's that she'll lock them in her lane.
right.
But yeah, you can play the Cannonball Mercury because then Cannonball gets the guaranteed kill. It turns his
Yep.
ability into an insane stat bump and turns out paying 2 energy for Mercury to set that up rather than the like 4 card combo to clog all the other lanes
Hmm.
like you were used to be doing, which was semi-viable.
Yep.
But this is so much better that it just exploded onto the scene. And then Mercury's like a good Merlin target. Her flexibility of moving later on is fine. You can play a turn 5 cannonball to take out like a Galacta rather than
Yeah.
only a turn 6 cannonball. So this list, it's so interesting. So interesting. And I love that it is here. Mercury also just like slowing down some of the other like the Scorn or the Scream, sorry, Scream and some of the other move lists that were just kind of
Oh.
annoying. So now you have a tech card if those decks ever come up to the
Yep.
the forefront. Even like if they release, another card like Falcap, you now have a control card for it. That's going to be really effective.
Isn't it interesting how the Scream decks kind of just like disappeared? They didn't really do
Yeah.
much to the list, and for as far as like updates go.
Well, they did take like multiple Nerf hammers or Nerf swings at Scream herself, right?
But wasn't it just a power reduction?
Yeah, but over and over.
I mean,
It
I don't know.
ultimately pounded her down. Like the Batroc the Leaper combo, if you hit it, is still very good. but the power that these other decks are spitting out is just a little bit better. And yeah, Scream was always like a stat deck, right? You do get a lot of manipulation on your opponent, but the
Right.
Scream being able to trigger for effectively a 4-point swing every turn was what was really driving it because the rest of the cards were high enough stats that you would just edge the opponent out. And now with Scream starting so much lower, which means played in the mid game or late game, not able to hit the impact that you need. Um, yeah, just kind of strangled it out.
But yeah, what was the winning deck for?
The winning baby, I was waiting for it. It's 32 card Monty. That's right. You play Arishem, you play Thanos, and you play Agamotto. Every single card that makes extra cards into your deck, you then shuffle them all. Imagine big shuffle here, even though it's digital, you don't get to see it. You do get to see every single opening animation layered on top of each other, which
That's fun.
hilariously enough, they layer randomly, so you get a different one every game and different audio cues as they interrupt each other. Oh man, this deck is it's stupid. It's just the will of Arishem, right? It's just like the old meme of when Agatha Agatha would like have a plan and she was actually making random moves that were kind of good.
Yeah.
When Arishem gives you the perfect tech card, it's so insane and the opponent can never predict it. So you're able to snap and the opponent's like, well, technically they beat me with this one single card in the entire library, but it's insane that it would be created and drawn, so I can't plan around that. And then you sucker them out of all these cubes. The kicker was in the tournament, I saw the moment where Bar with No Name came up and Arishem created randomly 3 different location manipulation options.
Hmm.
So the player ultimately had the perfect one to steal like 4 or 6 cubes in a mid conquest round swing that iced the enemy out. They played another match or two after that to finish it, but that was what won the game.
And yeah, there's just a 34 cards in a single deck is really insane. But Thanos does draw a lot of cards in general. I mean, you're not guaranteed to always see your stones, I guess, but when you don't even know what you're going to be playing, your opponent's definitely not going to know, and that is enough with the combination of all these tech cards. Good cards like Galacta just add power in different places with your random generated stuff. Shang-Chi, Enchantress, Juggernaut, Surge, of course, Legion being another location manipulation card. Agamotto being able to create those skills to kind of just double up on certain things or just affect your opponent's board with the one like the wins, for example, is another one. And then just good
Yep.
stuff like Eliath, and when you draw your cards, you just have a good time, I guess. Um,
You have a good time all the time, really, with this kind of deck. I
sure.
love this, similar to how I liked Loki, with how they make each game so different and fresh to be piloting the deck. I hope this is a list that always stays at least slightly meta viable. I kind of see this as the new Hela. Like, there's going to be a meta once it's figured out that's a little bit better than it on ladder, but whenever there's a patch and thus chaos in what people are playing, you could just go to this to climb, and you should do fine. Like this can always be your go-to if you don't know something else that you want to play.
What? I don't know what happened in my
It
window.
just
Hold on.
decided to close for you.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get her back. We'll get her
Welcome back.
back.
Um,
All right.
I do want to point out a deck that I was super hyped to see, and
Okay.
that's this Ronin control list.
Yes.
I thought it was so cool to see. I love Supergiant as a card. Um,
Big buff, right? 2 points.
yeah, and that has a lot of the cards that like when I played my Supergiant list, it has a lot of similar elements. Of course, this does have the Quicksilver Wiccan kind of element to it, and of course, Surge being a really good card is great. But like things like Goliath, Gladiator, just really good things to just have good stats and try to get that priority when you play down Supergiant to just snipe all the stuff that they have hidden. The one thing that I wish this deck did have, though I do understand that it's probably not as good to do it this way in comparison to like some of these cards like Merlin, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and like Surge, and of course Shadow King as tech cards, would be Daredevil. I love Daredevil combined with
Oh,
Supergiant because it lets you see what your opponent puts down face down to literally tell you, is it worth it to even care about Eliathing it on the next turn? Or can I just
right.
say, you can have that lane. That's fine. I'm going to focus my energy this way. I loved that combo when I was playing my Supergiant Brew when she first came out. And I still think that that has legs. It's just trying to figure out the rest of the cards around it. I just think she's such an
Right.
underexplored card, and she's such a cool card in general.
I also kind of want to see like Shang or Fenrir's Wolf with some of these other cards, but with the Super Giant, it does position you into kind of a different way of leveraging control. Like you're trying to gain initiative and then trap the opponent. You see where they play, and then
Mhm.
you can tee up your Eliath or your Teenage Warhead. So, um, yeah, it's really cool. I think there is space to iterate if you want to play around with this. You'll definitely catch some people out with the Super Giant. She has some fun variants too, so a chance to be able to
Yep.
show them off. And yeah, Ronan is just like a good tech card in general, and that's not just because a lot of people were playing Thanos or Arishem, but like any Merlin deck, because of it either filling the hand or shuffling back into deck, is really good to play like that. Darkhawk and the Ronan, because everybody's filling their hands up.
And Teddy, we had not just one, but two super giant lists in this tournament. This one did not make top eight, it made top 16. This one
Yep,
does feature the Daredevil combo and the
there it is.
Fenrir's Wolf, like you wanted with
Oh,
Gladiator Super Giant. This one is a bit more what we want as far as the Super Giant deck goes, but it didn't perform nearly as well as the other one. Um, I could see
now,
some really cool tweaks with this one. I think maybe like you trim down some of like the cute things, or just like maybe you change out what your good cards are, like the Sage or the Cosmo. I think the Cosmo is very good in a conquest setting of having that kind of tech card. But I think there's some ways to kind of mess around with this toolbox a little bit. And I love Claw as a hideable card for Supergiant because you don't know if it's going to be the Cannonball that's going to just kill one of the cards in the other lane, or is it going to be a Claw that's going to extend over to the right. Though I will say, if you're doing this type of list where you're doing 2 5 costs and there are these types of abilities between Claw and Cannonball, you almost always, if possible, want to have these two cards, no matter what you're playing, always in the middle or left lane. So that way you keep your opponent guessing, at least in Conquest, of which 5 cost it would be, right? Because if you put
oh
your
yeah, right.
hidden 5 costs in the far right lane, um,
It's Cannonball.
you could go for a crazy bluff and put Claw there, right? And make them say it's Cannonball, and maybe they avoid the lane altogether because of they're like, I don't want to lose to Cannonball. And then you flip a
Yeah.
Claw up and you're like, I got you. But right.
You can, if you're the kind of player that wants to bring like the bluff snaps into your game,
Mhm.
it's super risky because on ladder no one respects it. But
No.
the Daredevil Super Giant might be the one deck where you can kind of stomp your feet and get people to bounce because they just don't want to mess with you. So there's definitely a cube tax that you
Yep.
can leverage if you hit that combo. And then obviously the rest of it is really solid. Like top 16, top 8, that could just be location draws on that one match. Or it could be saying that, hey, me and Brad are not the top deck builders and what we want actually slowed them down a little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
Uh,
But
I I
they're
do
both right in
think
there and they're super fun ideas.
I do think Noah Eliath is strictly incorrect. Um,
That does feel like you're losing some of the best synergy of Supergiant.
Right. That's where I would be like, okay, that's where you like cut. Like I think Sage is cute to have underneath the super giant, right? With like another 2 cost, like Sage and like a Shadow King. Like I think that's a
Yeah.
really cute turn 5. To be able to like just snipe something and then like, or even in the same lane, right? You do Shadow King first and then Sage behind it, and then you just
Yep.
get a nice little
Pick it
swing
back
there.
up.
Um, but I do think cutting something like one of those for just a single Eliath, just that one copy, you it just wins you so many games. And I feel like I'm within reason to like say these things because I played that Super Giant Cook for 3 straight seasons, like 500 total plus games at like a 70+% win rate, hitting infinite every season with that when she first came out. So like
Yeah.
I played a lot of this card, and maybe it's time to bring back some old cooks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the bounce make it back in. Like, just
Right.
because it's not using the newest cards doesn't mean that it is necessarily out of the meta. What those decks are good at, I think that the game overall is in a pretty healthy position where you can play a lot of different things. And if you are familiar with the deck and familiar on when to snap and when to retreat, you'll be able to be okay.
All right, Teddy. I
Surge, baby, Surge.
think it's
Such a fun
time.
design of the chaining, discount, and buff.
Yeah.
Now you're getting fed up with this card.
I don't think I'm
The
getting fed
insert.
up with the card. I think
Okay.
she is a little bit too pushed. And so I put the title as Surge is the new Zabu because my complaint about Zabu was, and this isn't original Zabu I'm talking about. I'm talking about like updated Zabu, where like after the cost reduction, like this was like when it was focused on like the 4 costs, like in hand. Remember, when it was like a 2
Yes.
cost and it was a 3 cost, whatever. When it was a 2 cost and it just hit the stuff in your hand, everyone just ran Zabu decks. It was just easy to just slot in as a 2 cost. We've talked about this before. Remember when Mobius was a 2 cost? The opportunity cost of putting these cards in your deck is really low.
Yeah.
Because that break point, once you move from 2 to 3, it really changes the way of like the dynamic of your curve, especially with 3 costs. Because how many 3 costs in the game are so like centric to starting your own personal deck's game plan. The cards like Bullseye is a good example, or like Dakin in that list as well. Um,
Right.
there's so many decks like, and originally back when Rockslide was a 3/3, or if we're talking about like Darkhawk, like that was another
Yeah.
example. You want to start doing your stuff on 3 and have your generic stuff on 2 and all that stuff. Surge fits that bill. You just slot her into any deck. It's super easy to fill her in as a 2 cost. And when you have her on
Right.
2, it's awesome. Easy to snap
Oh,
on
yeah.
as well. Now, and you don't even need to hit that chain of like, oh, I'm just hitting all these cards over and over again. But sometimes you do, and that just makes you go crazy. But she's just really strong. I think they could probably get rid of the +1 power. And I I don't want to see her lose the chain reaction thing necessarily because I think it's such a cool design. But I do feel like even if she loses the +1 power, the chain reaction part is so good that I don't think anything would change with her play rate. She's just incredibly strong, super pushed, insanely generic. Where there's no reason if you have this card in your collection to not have her in one of your decks. She should be in literally every single deck as one of your 2 cost slot. Like it's that easy.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like her and Merlin are kind of hitting that similar spot
Yeah,
of like generic 2 drop that's just kind of best in class, gives you a lot of options. Merlin giving you the Swiss Army knife of spells, and Surge giving you ramp, having any of these decks being able to ramp. Honestly, right now, it's like her feeding off of how powerful Gwenpool and Galacta are, because when you draw a Surge version of those to come down on 3, it's just so oppressive for the opponent. Like,
yep,
that's definitely the snap condition, and that's the dream. Because a lot of these decks do have kind of a core of just good cards, and those good cards coming down a turn early are almost always better. And then even if she gets her chain reaction gets quote unquote slowed down by hitting a tech card, because the discount could potentially allow you to combo tech cards with other things that would not normally be possible, you can either fake your opponent out or it still gives you this great advantage. So yeah, she could definitely lose a little bit, but yeah, I think the heart of the card is the chain reaction,
yep.
and the heart of the card is also the energy ramp. So as long as that stays through, if they need to tweak either her base power down or getting rid of the buff would be unfortunate. Um, but you could see that go as well. And if it's only the energy side, she's hard crowned by Mobius, but a lot of stuff is, and that's just kind of what we're okay with right now.
And according to Snap.fan, she has about a 16% play rate right now.
16%
Yeah.
of play rate.
Yeah, that's what Snapzone says. Sorry. Um,
Okay, Snap.fan says 30%, and she's the number 2 most seen
yeah,
player.
that seems a bit more on track to me.
Yeah.
16, and now their meta stats say she's the number. It's weird. So Marvel Snap Zone says she's the number one card played right now.
Okay.
At actually no, not even 16, 14.8% is what they have her at
Yep.
on this page here. So I wonder what that discrepancy is between the two.
I think the tracker on Snap.fan is a smaller community.
Yeah, but like, hold on, but it's
It's an
.gg,
enormous
right?
discrepancy.
Um,
Are you going to Untapped? The Untapped is the most accurate.
yeah, is it snap.gg?
What? Untapped.gg?
Yeah, but the website to go directly to it for Marvel Snap, I thought was it's
Snap.untapped.gg?
snap. Okay, yeah, there it is. Um,
That has her at 27%, somewhere in between. But yeah, she's popular. They actually don't like her so much, giving her a B tier. Interesting. Interesting.
hmm.
We need these variants, these other variants to come out. Give her some more love.
Says she's
Capitalize
in B
on her
tier.
time in
Where
the
is
sun.
she? Hello?
I just searched for her.
Yeah, I was dumb enough to like scroll, but I've already
But yeah,
committed.
when you hit her on curve and then you roll into some ramped cards, very oppressive. But I really hope that they keep the flavor of her chain reaction.
23%. I'm
Yep,
sorry, a 59.5% win rate is a B tier card. I can't see the average cubes because I don't have premium anymore. But like
that's pretty good.
that
Seems like you
doesn't
should be playing more of this class of B tier card.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, she's really good. There's no reason to have like my whole thing is, and I don't think she's oppressive necessarily, right? In the sense that like she's just like oh so bad for the game, but
Yeah, I think
I
Falcap was more overtuned on release.
right. But my thing is like similarly to like Falcap and like looking at Merlin right now or back when Mobius was a 2 cost and like anytime we've had just a super good generic 2 cost, when they're able to just be slotted into any deck you want for no negative or downside, I do think that is an issue when it comes to skill expression or like creative expression in the game. Um, and I think that is kind of where I'm like, that's a little bit of an issue. Like I want strong cards. I want good cards in the game. But I don't know.
I'm okay with it as long as we get like one or two more. Which honestly we're rounded out pretty well right now because Fenrir's Wolf is really popular, Mercury is really popular, and then you have Merlin and you have Surge. And so picking which ones of these you want to utilize and which combos you want to expand from, like and Falcap is still good. Falcap is over here. He did get nerfed, yes, but he's still quite good. So you could run him as well. And then you're looking at a pretty solid core of these 2 drops. Also the small cards deck representing some different 2 drops that are getting played in the meta. You know, you've got Havoc,
Yep.
you've got Athena. So there's definitely options for you and like competition at this price point.
Well, speaking of this price point and this cost as a 2 cost, there is one that seems to be a pretty good card, but the unfortunate aspect is no one is able to get it. And that
Also, the
is
surge effect. The whole thing of overcharged here is they give you random surged cards. And a 50,000 volt Kid Omega 2/1. He was going to be the savior for Elixir. And as it is, he's going to be available to no one unless you're willing to drop a
oh,
significant
here,
amount of
let's
money
let's let's
on
see.
volt recharges.
Okay, there you go. That's if I were to buy the rest with gold right now.
Right.
That's me not having
So
played
I
hardly any of the
I
mode.
imagine it would be more effective if you wanted to go grind lord and just buy mission refreshes, but yeah,
It's
it's
actually
brutal out
Teddy.
there.
Teddy, technically speaking,
Yeah.
someone did the math on our wonderful
Uh-huh.
favorite website called Reddit, and they found that it is actually more expensive to refresh uh, missions with gold than it is just flat out bio Kid
Then the
Omega.
buyout, right? That's crazy. Why would they do? They made the mission refresh a trap.
Yep,
That is next level second dinner. My hat's off to you.
that is really
Oh
funny.
my goodness. So they gave us, it's basically the template of the Sanctum Sanctorum shop, which was amazing. I think we were
Yeah,
both in accordance that like that was well implemented.
yeah.
This
Look at all these
one,
cool looking stuff. Like I love
yeah,
the
you
rocket
get cool looking
emote.
stuff. You get
This
exclusive
border's fun.
cosmetics. You have the option to buy other variants. You have the option to buy credits at the bottom. You get
Yep.
exclusive cosmetics if you
There's
want to
a
go that way
there's
with your
another
collection.
new card at a more
There's another
reasonable
new card
cost at
named
15K.
Cobra.
He's really bad.
Except in this game mode. In this game mode, he's good, but everything else, yeah, he's bad.
Sure. Yeah, but he's just a really
He
bad
also
card.
looks bad. Yeah, man, because they're releasing stuff so fast, they don't even go back and make variants for any of these cards.
No.
Like Batroc the Leaper over here, I was having so much fun with him for a season, and they never got a variant to even like
Yep.
be able to spend money on. I'm like, well, I just get to run him with the dorky mustache. Yeah, so it seems like they just didn't balance this shop and then they don't want to go back for some reason. Also, one of the reasons Sanctum Sanctorum was so successful is they were able to marry it to a huge Twitch drop campaign, which gave a ton of people, hopefully everyone, hopefully all of you guys watching, a big jumpstart in progressing through the shop.
Yep.
And their new backend does not currently support Twitch drops. So they're kind of balancing it by giving us the 500 volts every day. But again, against these prices, 500 volts is a drop in the well, man, and I'm not filling up the well with an eyedropper. It's very discouraging.
Yeah, and
And I
it's
get it, like they want people to potentially feel like there's value if you whale in the shop, but the price is just so high that it's pushing other people away, especially when their template is way more accessible prices through events from before. Like before, the high voltage card was a gimme,
yeah,
right? It was
pretty
super
much.
easy, and then people would check out. People would just use it to collect their dailies and do their guild missions. And now they've made it a more interesting game mode, and they made it, I think, a better format of shop. It's just the pricing is so out of whack that they're out of touch. It's like, is this a problem that I'm not poor enough to understand? It's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I love playing ladder right now and seeing someone actually play Kid Omega, and I'm like, oh, you didn't randomly generate that? You paid for that card? I know you didn't
Yeah.
grind. It's physically impossible. Someone did the math, and it's literally if you were to grind 10 hours a day, you'd have to get like something crazy, like 200 something wins or whatever. Or so, I think it was more than that. It was like 300 wins.
Yes,
It
the
was
credits per win
ridiculous.
is abysmally low for the rewards. And honestly, the rest of the shop feels fairly expensive as well. But yeah, Kid Omega is the most egregious. And that being the title card is tough. Now, here's the thing, Brad. If you were to give this guy a star rating, like if he was releasing for tokens, I don't like him. I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, it's an
He's very
interesting card.
niche.
Uh,
It's interesting. I would love to have him for deck building purposes. Obviously, fun with Elixir, fun with Firehair, fun with some of the straight up destroy. But otherwise, like, man, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's something that I've been wanting for like a destroy deck for some time because like we talked about this last episode that like destroy is kind of bad now. Like just what we know is like just the Deadpool,
It got
Wolverine, Death,
yeah,
Null kind of thing. Just kind of a bad
it got
deck.
power crept
And
away.
and this is a really interesting card to give a little different point of like access when it comes to like power generation. Um and the fact that it's an activate come at any moment and I really like the card for destroy and we've seen the top deck with this card right now albeit only like 300 games played but it's got a 65% win rate something like that and it's just like Arnim Zola, Black Panther shenanigans, stuff like that. And the idea is like
Really
yeah,
spicy.
that's the whole deck. As I, oh my god,
There has to be something better to do with this guy.
oh for sure. But here's the problem: no one has the card, so you can't cook.
Right.
No one can
We
cook.
can't cook. We can't test. I guess the hook right is that he gains that card's power. So if you can find the combo of a card that wants to be destroyed but will still transfer enough power to be impactful onto Kid Omega, you can find the sweet spot. somewhere in there, like maybe this does revive Phoenix Force as being
Oh,
pretty cool because the
Phoenix
card's
Force
still
is an interesting
destroyed.
idea. Yeah.
So you get to play something that has an impactful ability, a mid-sized body. Kid Omega pops it, gets the power, and then Firehair repeats the ability, and then it all comes back for another round on Phoenix Force. But yeah, the deck is getting more and more tools. Like Second Dinner wants this to be a list, the Elixir as another reinforcement point for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe there is something that we can tease out, but
They did say that like someone asked like in the Discord of like, hey, people have been overwhelmingly negative when it comes to the card acquisition for Kid Omega and things like that. Are you guys gonna do anything in regards to that, or like you gonna mention anything? And all Griff said was that they passed along the information to the team and they've heard everyone's complaints and they'll they may bring something up soon. That was really it. So I'm not holding my breath at the moment as far as what that is. I don't know if they're going to retroactively like reduce the cost or do anything that's going to actually affect high voltage this time around.
hang on,
Um,
what series does he release into? So like what's the token price a week from now?
ooh, didn't, well, Scorn was, or no, not Scorn, was it, didn't Agony go straight to 5 or go straight to 4?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I,
I'm
f-
not actually seeing it listed on Snap.fan, probably because he's not in the pool at the moment.
right.
And Kid Omega is listed as just limited time event on the Marvel Snap schedule on Marvel Snap
Well,
Zone.
if,
Oh, Kid Omega is scheduled for Series 5 release on
uh,
7/16/2025.
so
So if they downgraded him to Series 4,
I think that'd be a great step. That'd be great
I think it
because
would be, well, it would kind of slap the people that wailed
bought
for
it.
him
Yeah.
immediately, but it would make the rest of the community happier to be able to pick him up then, and then you can just focus on engaging with the rest of the shop with your
Yeah.
event currency, right? Like pick up Cobra. Heck, go for it, guys. Live your dreams.
Eh,
Live your anti-RSM dreams.
Now, I will say, outside of the fumbling of the shop and everything when it comes to high voltage, I think the other issue I have, and a lot of other people as well, is this time around with like the overdrive spin on it, um, it's not as fun as it was the last time around. Do you have that same feeling, Teddy, or am I alone on that with
I
everyone else?
I love that they iterated because this was, in my opinion, the worst event before. I think it's a little more fun. It still is like a miss overall. Like it's so random on what these cards are, and it's also random on what spin you're going to get. And then it's even more random because some of the spins change completely on turn 4. That's the one that honestly kills me is
Yeah.
when you get the one location remains is like the dumbest idea. Um some of the other effects are pretty annoying as well. Like when you're planning around move left and then turn 4 happens and you get a blob, you're like, That's not even thematically anywhere adjacent." Nor does it tell me when I'm starting the match what to expect on turn 4. Obviously, I can learn it by playing multiple matches, but yeah. So I love that they're iterating. Um, I kind of want just more of these to hit the template of the Sanctum Sanctorum. I love the
Yeah.
concept of you get the tickets, you win, you keep playing. It makes people play a little more seriously. And in that one, it didn't have the randomness of all these surge cards infused. There's probably a happy medium where you could either have less surge cards or you just surge actual starter cards in your deck randomly rather than adding random cards that are also surged.
Yeah, I think there's
So there's
like
definitely
a
space.
knob that they can kind of like tune and kind of mess with a little bit to you know just change minute little things into the game mode to make it a bit more fun. Um, I just, where's our draft mode? Can we just get like
Yep.
a fun draft mode
No, they're building
for this type
12 new
of an
cards
event?
this season, man. That takes a lot of time. They can't
Why
fix
does
bugs. They can't develop draft.
why does
We're
China get
getting
the draft
first.
mode? Come on, where's our draft
We're
mode?
not even. We're getting like a very different event next season. That's going to be a brand new one, right? In the
Yeah.
limited time for steps. Yeah.
All
So
right.
we'll see where draft. I'm sure that it is coming eventually. But yeah, we just don't have her yet. It's a nightmare. Now your nightmare comes to life. You feel me, Brad? You
Fun
do a
fact
little
about
Avenged
that.
Sevenfold.
Yeah, fun fact about that song, real quick, is the whole reason they even made that album was because the Rev, the drummer, died, and they were sitting on that song for like years. And the Rev just really liked
Oh,
it and always wanted to just shove it into a random album. And so when the
yeah,
Rev died, they're like, all right, this was the song he wanted us to finally play. We're gonna have that be the
yeah.
centerpiece of the album. Great,
And
great
it hits
song, fun
so
album.
hard.
Yeah, really.
If
And
you
then
like metal, you probably have already heard it. But if you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. And check out this card if you want some really random, slightly clunky deck building. So,
yeah,
Nightmare on reveal, replace the text, the effect of every card in your hand with a random effect of a card of the same cost that is base cost, not current cost. So there's not a way to like, well, basically ramp would hurt you if it was current cost, and some other effects would like Sandman would help you, but it's out of the realm of what he's dealing with. You just want to deck build around cards that have negative effects and then have better stats to balance initially a negative effect and then give them a random effect, which is guaranteed to be better. The problem is this guy's been shadow nerfed like twice. He was data mined as a 1 cost and
yep,
then revealed as a 2 cost and now is a 3 -1.
yeah.
At one
They
point looking
they
like a
um
2/2.
they were afraid to release him as it was data mined, and I can understand why. Um,
Yes.
though he's a mixed bag, right? Because sometimes like the whole reason I chose Nightmare as a nightmare for the little segment here is because no matter what side of it you're on, you're gonna not have a great time. Because Teddy, if we're playing
Yeah,
playing each other, right, and you're playing Nightmare, and I'm on the other
right.
side of it, of course, when I'm playing against you all the time, I'm gonna see Nightmare turn Red Skull into like not wouldn't be Doctor Doom, be like Iron Man, right?
Right.
And like Infinite becomes Galactus, and I'm just like, I can't do anything. This is insane. I don't know what to
Exactly.
expect. However, on the flip side of it, when you're playing Nightmare and you're no
Yep.
longer playing me and you're playing the latter, I was the one game that you went against where Nightmare went off. For you,
Yep.
you're having your martyr become Ebony Maw. You're having
Well,
your
the thing is, you don't even. It's just that you didn't draw those cards. Like my
that
Red
too.
Skull is in deck, and I hit
Yeah.
my Surtur because I felt like I had to play Nightmare to be able to ping Typhoid Mary and Ebony Maw, and then I top deck Red Skull right after that, and I've bricked my other cards, and then my Scar became Arishem, and I'm like, what am I playing? That's the experience, right?
Right. So I feel like he's such a mixed bag, and the randomness is like I think it's a cool design. I love the card, though I know for a fact I'm not going to get this card anytime soon because it's not a card I think I would enjoy playing. It's a card I would find to be incredibly frustrating to play
It
just
is
from
incredibly
seeing
frustrating.
streams on both sides
Yeah.
of it. Like I said,
Yeah,
uh,
because he fits in two shells, right? You
right.
have Surtur tens, and then you have War Machine Infinite.
Yep.
And the problem with that is they're about 50-50 on cards that have bad abilities that get mitigated by other very important abilities. And when in that draw scenario, you're always hitting this anti-synergy of this card's really important, but I also need to play Nightmare now because he's a 3 cost.
Yep.
And if I wait, then I don't have enough time to play my other stuff. So you're just hoping for a good draw condition.
Yep.
And then yeah, the opportunity loss, right? Of like he's competing in the Scar deck or the tens with so you have Nightmare, you have Starbrand, and you have Surtur.
Yep.
That's a big ask to that say that I'm going to play Nightmare instead of those other boys, or
Yep.
even Cosmo as a protector, like right. And then in the War Machine deck, you have more positive abilities in general, so you're really just hoping to hit Infinite and Ebony Maw, and like the rest of the deck building gets a little weird. Storm is kind of back though for that
Oh,
list.
Storm being a 3 cost again is phenomenal. Makes me really
I,
happy.
I love I love that. But then again, a competition at the 3 cost price point with Nightmare that's like, am I gonna follow Storm up with Nightmare? No. I'm gonna I'm gonna play War Machine
All
and
I
then I'm gonna
know,
just go that way.
all I know is if I play this card, I'm gonna have the first game, my Red Skull is gonna become Kang.
Yeah, would do it if yes, you can do just insanely silly stuff like that. There could be there's something like I want to play around with this some more. You can mitigate some of Nightmare with like Merlin to polymorph or even
Sure.
Renslayer to bring a discount so you can combo him with something else later on. Because it feels more and more like a later turn, like a later game Nightmare. So turn 4, turn 5, when you've kind of curated a hand of cards that are guaranteed to be good targets.
Sure.
But then those targets have to be small enough in cost to be playable together. So it could actually be like Starbrand, Ebony Maw have a way to get like Moon Girl, multiple Ebony Maws, or some of the other like Titania, Martyr, some like one costs with high stats, and then Starbrand, who hopefully turns into Sage. I don't know. Like it's interesting. It's also fascinating from playing this deck. Like there are some more impactful abilities on 3 drops than 4 drops. Like I was looking at like, I could turn my 4 drop into, and I'm like thinking through the list. I'm like, there's actually some abilities from 3 drops I would rather pick up, but I can't because they're 4. It's just it's fascinating how that kind of balanced out. The 4 drops are all more weight on their bodies.
Yeah. Again, it's a really super cool card. It's just little wonky to play with.
And if you want to add even more wonk, the auto deck is a pixie deck. So yeah, that
Yeah.
just lets you keep on rolling the RNG dice, baby.
All right, Teddy. Let's make this Dormammu deck.
Let's cook. Okay, bring back that one gauntlet deck that had the misery. I think there might be something there as a shell, right? So Dormammu, one of the most complicated cards to release in um
This one.
recent memory. Starting out 7-11, game start, begin a summoning ritual, add step 1 to hand. What is a summoning ritual, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, as I pull it up. Ritual number 1. So you get a chain of cards with criteria that you're going to have to hit. Summoning ritual number 1 is a spell card, so it's going to banish itself. It's a 0 cost, so it's free to play. And remember, this will start in your hand. On reveal, you're going to merge your highest power destroyed card with Dormammu to continue to the next step. So Dormammu is going to get the power of your highest power destroyed card. So you have to destroy something, and then you can play the summoning ritual for free, and then you're going to merge it, and you're going to be able to go forward. The next one is a 1. So we have this destroy synergy. That's what we should bookmark at first.
Yep.
Summoning Ritual Part 2. A 1 cost, on reveal, Dormammu steals 1 power from each card here to continue. So this is a little what's the ice troll? The stealing guy.
Oh,
The 4 cost, 4/5.
the Laufey, whatever.
Laffy. It's Laffy on a spell, and instead of embodying that stolen power, this is stealing from both your side and the enemy, it's going to Dormammu wherever he is. It feels really, really powerful. Like that, when you can pop it on a location the opponent has played to, but you have not, it's a 1 drop, right?
Mhm.
And it's like automatically generated in hand. If the opponent just has 2 cards, like that's good value for a 1 cost to steal 2 power and then give it to your big finisher here. Step 3, this is a 3 cost. On reveal, destroy 2 of your characters here to summon Dormammu. So you're never going to have to worry about the 7 cost. He's going to pop down through you playing 4 energy,
Yep.
right? And being able to sacrifice 1 card to get merged with Dormammu in the build in the beginning, and then destroying 2 cards. This is not merging them. This is just destroying them to summon him. So you have to be ready with either tokens to sacrifice or guys that want to be sacrificed. And then you're going to get a mid to large. I mean, he's going to be big, right? He's 11. He's
Mhm.
merged with a card. Can we say what? Probably 2 to 3 power on that first card he merges with takes him up to a 14. He'll steal 2 to 3 power on average. That takes him up to a 17. So you're getting like a 4 cost 17 with destroy synergy.
Yeah. I
Sounds
pulled
fun.
this up real quick because this
Yep.
is why I like this card and why I'm excited to get it. I started playing. We've talked about this before. My first ever card game was Yu-Gi-Oh because I'm a big fan of like Egypt and stuff. I have the Eye of Anubis in the stylization of the Eye of Relinquished on my back.
Nice.
I love ritual cards when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh. This wants you to like sacrifice other creatures or whatever, like in a way to like summon it. So ritual cards are
Yeah.
so cool. So Dormammu basically being a ritual card
It is that. Yes.
is
It's that.
so
It's a
cool.
very cool thing, especially with all the destroy synergy that the rest of Snap has built in. Like we can play Phoenix Force and bring these sacrifices back, or we can play destroy and have them simply regenerate. We can destroy. Well, you actually have to have something in the destroyed pile for the first step, which you got to be careful with, right? You cannot
Right.
use Deadpool or Wolverine for step 1. You can for step 3. So you got to find a balance here on where you want to play. And yeah, Firehair goes crazy with this.
So you want Firehair in the list?
Yep.
Let me actually just go to twos real quick.
Let's start with the shell of like all the synergies. So let's go Firehair,
Yep.
Elixir, and Phoenix Force.
I don't have Elixir. We'll get there in a second.
Okay. And that's fair. He might not even be good enough for this deck.
Yeah, I don't have him.
Poor guy.
Unfortunately. So Firehair, I can add a placeholder for him in a moment, but what is he's a 2 cost as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out on Warlock. That's our Elixir for now.
Misery.
We want Hood then, right? If we're doing Misery.
Yeah. Hood Misery. And then put like put Scar in as the Dormammu placeholder, 7 cost.
Yeah. Trying to think what else like we want to. Could you do a? Well, I mean, I don't know if it'd be very good. Oh, do you want to do Uncle Ben?
Let's start with him in there actually. Yeah.
Okay. Trying to look through. We don't want to go too crazy in on stuff that like with destroy synergies necessarily, but we want plenty of stuff where you don't really care if it gets destroyed, right?
Right.
You could do like X-23 or like Wolverine type stuff.
Yeah, the interesting thing, right, is it is pretty consistent, right? As long as you're able to trigger, the thing is we need to be able to trigger step 1 as soon as possible. So we do need something to go to the death pile of our own. So we have to run something that's going to cause the destroy. And really we have to run multiple things so we're guaranteed to draw them, right?
Yeah.
Because step 1 is merge your highest powered destroyed card with Dormammu. So we need Killmonger, we need Carnage, I think.
Yeah, let me grab
We need
Killmonger.
Kid Omega. Gosh dang it, we need Kid Omega.
You're actually not wrong.
You might be essential. That's the slap on the Kid Omega being so expensive. Because he looks super important for Dormammu.
Well, let me look at destroy cards real quick.
Yeah. But we need the activations to be able to begin. And we need to begin soon enough that we're on, because we have to play Ritual 1 by turn 4. So that on 5 you could do Ritual 2, and on 6 you can do 3 and summon. But really we might actually prefer playing 3, the final ritual, on turn 5, so that then you're using that destroy and you can come back with Phoenix Force as like a final turn power bump, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We don't really want. I don't think there's really anything else in these destroy cards that we really care about.
I mean, Nova could be okay. It's
wouldn't we
you can
rather
like pop
want
it early
X-23 though? Over
or would you
Nova?
want a Bucky somewhere in here? Like I've seen Bucky Elixir be one of the only decent tempo things. It's not good power to merge onto Dormammu, but it's just like a good Bucky Carnage combo. And then if you resurrect it with Elixir later, you can
Right.
pop it yet again
Yeah,
on the
but if
summoning
we
ritual.
resurrect it with Phoenix Force, that's kind of bad.
Right, because you don't want to destroy it again. Exactly. Yeah, it's weird.
Um, I mean, Wolverine's not a bad Phoenix Force hit. Wouldn't that just be strictly better than
No, because he
Bucky?
regenerates. He doesn't
Oh, he
go to
doesn't go to the
the
pile. You're
discard
right. You're
pile.
right.
Yep. Hmm.
Ben does though, right?
Yes, Ben will because he spawns Spider-Man. So Ben actually might be a secret hero in this list. Okay, what was it that we were saying Adam Warlock? Adam Warlock is the elixir.
That's the
Yeah,
elixir, yeah.
yeah. Yep, yep. So Freya is pretty important for some of these elixir Firehair Hood combos and
Hmm.
Misery. She just plays super well with all of that, so we might want to pop her in there. We went on a rant about how you should always play Surge, so we might want to pop Surge in there. And then I feel like you
Yeah.
kind of just go Gwenpool or Kahori as like a mid-weight if she gets destroyed and revived is really good kind of play.
Is there no 5 cost we wanted? Like, do you just skip 5s in this deck?
No. Yeah, you skip fives. We're looking for more combos, right? If we can destroy something with an impactful ability to trigger onto Firehair and get it twice, that's like what we're really looking as an engine piece. And then
Hmm.
we're just scraping together more points, either with the resurrections or with the Dormammu chain. So we want the
Um,
big abilities like on 4 costs or 3 costs. So Cast Nova is a big one. People will play Cast, destroy Cast, trigger Cast again on Firehair so that
what
she gains power.
what about cards like Luna Snow and Rhino? Um, they do both generate for immediately you get the tokens, and if you just do the summoning of Dormammu, you just immediately kill the Luna Snow and the Rhino, like the ice thing and the Luna and
They
the
give you
Rhino and the
the little tokens to destroy for the final summon.
yeah.
The Luna is interesting because you could even create a way that the Ice Cube auto dies, right?
Hmm.
It kills itself. That's a fascinating idea. There could be something there, but it's hard. I'm hard pressed to say like it feels like you should just play Cass and Freya.
Yeah. Let me go back real quick and let me just
And
delete something.
the Carnage might be better as Venom in this because you have another way to maintain the power of that body.
Okay, now what about um another idea could be, since we could still do Uncle Ben, we'll see how that goes. Um could do instead a like a Darkhawk fire hair kind of thing with Korg
Yeah, I've
Rockslide.
seen that. It's like I've seen that with the Misery, right?
Yeah. Trying to think of what the 3 I mean, you still run Killmonger probably.
It's Cass. Killmonger's good in here too, yeah. So it's Killmonger, Misery, Casanova, Hawk, Rockslide.
Mm,
Yeah, because she can potentially trigger on the extra rocks that you're dropping here,
yeah.
which is pretty nice. And you have a baseline of just trying to generate extra demons off of the hood, either through Misery proc or the Fire Hair, and then getting rid of the hood. And it does give you the nice little token, like you don't mind if Korg dies. Obviously, you want Hood to die. You want Uncle Ben to die. At some point here, you should even be okay with sacrificing your Surge. Late game, she's not doing as much for you. You hope that she's just ramped you into something. So we have to have a placeholder for Dormammu here. And then, boy, what do you want the final bit to be?
Do we just want something, some flexible and some third flexible destroy card? Like a Venom or something?
Yeah, this one Yeah, it could still be fine. I mean, the play is really like Cass, Venom with Firehair on board.
Hmm.
Um, or it could be the Elixir or the Phoenix Force, depending on which direction you want to index on the consistency of destroying or on the capitalizing on the combo once you've started destroying, right?
Hmm.
Oh, interesting point of order, right? I suppose with the first summoning ritual, you actually don't get a chance at reviving, right? When you're merging it with Dormammu, it'll be taken out of the pile.
Yeah, that's
You'll
true.
be able to revive them after the final ritual because those are sent to the pile. But
So
whatever
maybe Phoenix Force isn't as good then.
maybe not actually.
So let's go back to the other one. Let's take out Phoenix Force. That gives us another slot, right?
Spicy take is you should run Fenrir's Wolf when people are testing this because if you steal what they've destroyed, you
Yeah,
can brick their ritual
that's true.
in the very first step. You could, because then I assume if you play it and there's nothing to merge, it just, do we know, does it generate a new ritual or does it brick?
I would imagine it bricks, right?
I would imagine it bricks too. Like it has no target and then it does not generate step 2. Because it says merge your highest powered destroyed card with Dormammu to continue. Obviously, if you didn't do that, you don't continue. But it doesn't have any text to say that it will regenerate. Ooh, spicy Fenrir's Wolf, man. You're like, you destroyed Uncle Ben. You want to merge that with your next ritual? No, you don't. Though because the summoning ritual is free, you should just play it immediately. But if for whatever reason they wait, you can catch them out.
Um, trying to think.
I like this as a starting point. It's a very different destroy look. Obviously, you can swing to more of those misery consistency lists, or you can go more to traditional destroy and still find pieces of those decks that you like. Being able to pop Summoning Ritual 3 on a stack of destroy synergy cards is going to feel really good. But and the punch up of Dormammu popping to the board for what's, 4 energy feels really good. The hiccup is getting a sacrifice for ritual 1, where you have to have something in the destroy pile and then get
Is
that ritual
there?
rolling as fast as possible to finish it.
There's no card in the game that just flat out just destroys itself, right?
No, it's the Luna Snow Ice Cube is the only self-sacrificing card.
Hmm. Yeah, because like ideally, like what this deck would love is well, maybe you want Nico. Would Nico be fine just to have that
Nico's always good, and
potential
she
turn one?
potentially destroys.
Yeah.
If you don't have Kid Omega, you definitely run Nico, which is going to
Yeah.
be everybody.
Oh man, this damn card. Yeah, I
Are you saying
think
Dormammu is hard to crack, or are you saying Kid Omega being important for
No, I'm
Dormammu
yelling at Kid
is a
Omega.
pain? Yeah, that's a pain, man. But he does seem really important. Being able to activate, destroy
Yeah.
a card, take that card's power onto his own body, put it in the discard pile, and then play Summoning Ritual, merge that card with its power onto Dormammu. I can just imagine it already. You've got Kid Omega set up, you've got Firehair set up, and then you play Cass, Pop Cass, merge Cass twice, repop it with the Firehair, and you're off to the races. Then they're afflicted. You got affliction synergy going on. Number 2 comes down, steals all the enemy's power. Okay, I'm sold. Luna Snow is core. She has a
Okay.
card that kills itself. She has a card that could remain as a token to be destroyed in Ritual 3, and she guarantees the opponent an extra token to be hit by Ritual 2.
Yep.
Like that lane where she spits out cube on your side, cube on her side, cube on your side, cube on their side, and her body, plus anything else the opponent is doing, Ritual 2 goes hard. Because you're planning on destroying those cards anyway.
So what do we cut for the Luna?
Kid Omega for right now, because it's not realistic.
Well,
It
I
could be
mean,
the Surge as
but
well. Um, it could also be that
uh,
the Kahori is not consistent enough with the way we've built the rest of the deck.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. this could be something. It could also, I don't know. I'm just looking at like we can win the Dormammu lane,
This Uncle
but
Ben could just be
I'm not sure
too
how we're
cute.
winning a second lane. Oh, I guess the way you win a second lane is like 3 demons, right?
Right.
But that's kind of all. If you're looking at how this deck is producing power, you've spent a lot of effort on getting Dormammu, and you should win the Dormammu lane. But also, they could Shang the Dormammu. Or they could Cosmo any of your rituals.
This one feels a little bit more like a deck. than the
Yeah,
other
the
one.
fall. Well, it has the fallback of the Hawk. You
yeah.
know the Hawk at base is going to do something. The other deck, you're like, I don't even know if this does something. But
Right.
again, Dormammu actually has some pretty good baked-in consistency. You're guaranteed to generate the ritual 1 on game start.
Mhm.
So you're never playing Dormammu, you will always have the chance at running the ritual. You'll never like have to draw into the ritual. That'll always be there. It's just finding the rest of the criteria with the cards you do draw to make it work. So heck, is it actually just Thanos? Gives you a bunch of like destroy Thanos. It's so many good tokens to die, right? That's actually the deck, isn't it? Is destroy Thanos.
You might be right.
All right. I don't think we have to build that one.
No.
We've gone on. I think we've covered pretty much everything, but you can catch us right here to be able to see our true testing of Dormammu, with or without Kid Omega. We'll see. We'll see if Second Dinner throws us a bone. Otherwise, I don't think either of us are on track to get him.
No. I'm definitely not gonna waste any time on the high voltage game mode. But I mean, hey, I'm excited for Dormammu. It's gonna be a fun card to figure out. I think it's gonna be like an Ultron style card where it's like, I don't think it's gonna be very good or competitive, but damn, it's gonna be fun to play with.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the balance, just theory crafting wise, is landing a little better for me. But yeah, we'll see.
Hey, hold on. I think. Hold on. Let me just look at this real quick.
Okay.
Infinity Ultron, I think could still be something. This is a fun deck. Look at all these. Look at all these twos I got. Look at all these 2 costs.
And then the stones are more 2 costs. Now we just need a Silver Surfer, but for 2 costs.
Oh yes. Ooh, what about Silver Surfer's wife, the one that's going to be in the new Fantastic Four movie?
Is she actually slated for a release?
She should be. That'd be kind of cool.
I can't believe that she is not, but I don't think she is.
No, I don't remember seeing anything.
No, it's all focused on the Mole Man. Mole Man is here.
Why aren't we getting a new Giganto if he's going to be in the movie too? Come on. Come on, if they're going to give us new of each of the 4 Fantastic Four and then also give us Herbie and the stupid car, give me a Giganto first steps.
It's not a car, he's a robot.
Okay. No. There's 2 cards. There's the car, like
true. Yes.
There's the car and there's Herbie.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Man, I think it'll be a fun season, but yeah, we've already discussed how upset Brad is that they have just rebranded all the existing characters into first step versions of the characters.
I do hate it, but that's for a retread on another episode. So
yep, sign us out, Brad.
We love you. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, Teddy.
Till next time, don't stop snapping.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Can't Stop Snapping is a podcast hosted and produced by Brad Saffer and Teddy Ninja, originally created by Michael Thurman.